everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be another first impression foundation video. A couple of you have been requesting to see this one, and I have been trying to get my hands on these for a long time. They've been really hard to track down actually. These are the brand new Anastasia stick foundations. I have 3 different colors here, a foundation color, a highlight color, and like a contour color. These are very hyped up. A lot of people have really mixed reviews about this, so I'm kind of nervous to see how this works on my skin. This is supposed to be formulated for combo to oily skin types, but a lot of the reviews are very half and half on Sephora.com and all the other stores that carry this product, which are either people love it or people hate it. So hopefully this is gonna work out for me. I do have a lot to cover going on right now. I have a lot of imperfections and pimples and stuff on my face, which kind of sucks, but it's that time of the month, so kind of comes with the territory. So hopefully these will work out for me. I'm excited to see and put these to the test and see if they work on my skin. If you want to see this first impression review and demo of this foundation, then just keep on watching. Alright, so first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the foundation before we get into the demo. So these are each $25. You are getting 0.32 ounces in each product. They have 19 different foundation shades, 1 highlight shade which is banana, and then 3 contour shades. And I actually didn't pick up any of the contour shades per se because they were very cool toned and super ashy. And on my skin tone I have more of a neutral to warm undertone, so something that's going to be really cool toned and ashy isn't look really muddy on my face. So I actually did not go with one of the contour shades that is listed as a contour shade. I just got one of the darker shades in the foundation color range. So they do have 3 shades for that if you are interested in picking up a contour shade. I picked up Beige, which has light skin with neutral undertones. The Amber shade, which I got for contouring, says it's a dark medium tan skin with golden undertones, and the Banana shade, which is the only highlighting shade in the collection, says it's a light pale yellow. So I don't know if Norvina and Anastasia are planning on releasing more shades. I think they are. I will put a little picture right here of like a little like color wheel thing that they put up on their Instagram. It kind of helps match to MAC foundations, and if you were interested in trying to find a foundation color in this range, so you can kind of see, if you know your MAC shade, what is going to be most suitable for you in this range. So again, a little bit more about this foundation. It says it's a multitasking medium to full coverage stick foundation. It's a highly pigmented buildable cream stick foundation that creates a natural looking matte finish, ideal for all skin tones and combo to oily skin types. It's easy to layer and delivers medium to full coverage with a smooth finish. It's perfect for all over coverage, touch-ups, or highlighting and contouring. So first I'm going to apply obviously the foundation shade. I'm a little nervous about this. I've actually never tried a foundation stick, which is pretty cool. I also want to try the Hourglass one, but it's a little pricey, and I'm a little bit nervous about this because it's so inexpensive. Like a foundation for $25 that's a more high-end brand is a little bit nuts. So I'm going to apply the foundation first, but I'm always going to prep my skin like I do in every single one of my foundation videos. So first I'm going to go with my Sephora 8-Hour Mattifying Moisture Sunscreen. You guys know the deal with this. Every single time I do my makeup, I put this on. It's so good for oily skin, but it still keeps you hydrated and it gives you sun protection. Alright, so like always, I'm going to prime only on one side of my face to see how well the foundation wears without primer on the other side. So I'm going to be using my Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer on my right side of my face. I'm going to apply it right where I have the larger pores, which is on my forehead, on my cheeks right near my T-zone, and on my chin. I'm going to go in with the Beige foundation stick. This is really nice. It looks really pretty. The packaging is beautiful. It has the Anastasia logo right there. It twists up. It's really pretty, and it has the Anastasia logo at the top of the cap. This is really beautiful packaging. It feels nice and heavy and sturdy, so that's awesome. I'm going to apply only this on one side of my face and see how we do. I'm only going to do a couple. I've heard this isn't like super full coverage, so we'll see. I'm going to be doing brush on one side and sponge on the other. I've heard that a sponge does not work well with this foundation, but we're going to try it out. It's blending out pretty nicely with the brush so far. I would definitely say this is a sheer to medium first layer. I don't know if you guys can see. It does give me a lot of like evenness for my skin tone, but you can still see a lot of my redness on my cheek area peeking through, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Again, with my Real Techniques sponge. Let's see how well this works. I can already tell you I'm getting a lot more coverage with the brush versus a sponge. You can definitely see a lot more redness peeking through with the sponge. I'm going to nix the sponge and just apply a little bit more in spots I want more coverage. I don't really notice the difference either with the application on either the unprimed side or the prime side. They both kind of feel similar. The only thing I was noticing is on this side it was kind of patching up a little bit easier than on this one. You were able to see a little bit more of like your spots through it. I definitely would recommend patting it in instead of like swiping it because this is gonna move. It's a very creamy foundation, which I've never tried to stick one, but super creamy. It's not very liquidy, so once it's gonna sit on the skin, it's gonna stay there. So that is what like 1 to 2 layers looks like, a little bit more spread out. I'm gonna start going in with my highlighting shade. This is the banana shade. I love the banana powder in her contour kit, so I'm hoping I'm gonna like this. I'm a little bit worried about this too because it is gonna be a little bit more of a full coverage concealer look. Hopefully this works well under the eyes. Apply a little bit on my upper T-zone, down the bridge of my nose, anywhere where I would technically highlight. So that didn't really provide any extra coverage. It was really hard to blend out actually, even with my sponge. This again was super creamy, so it was kind of hard to move around. I do like the color. It did kind of like bring highlightness to my face. And now for the contour shade, again, this was the shade Amber. It has like neutral to golden undertones. So let's apply that right down my cheekbones. It looks pretty dark right now, but I have a feeling it's gonna blend out. And then to blend this out, I'm actually going to be using my Real Techniques sculpting brush. This is a beautiful brush for blending out any cream contour or bronzer or highlight. I love this one. It's perfect for really creamy formulas like this. So that doesn't look that bad. It kind of got all patchy when I started layering the highlight and the contour on top of the foundation. So I don't know if it's just too much going on my skin where it's just wanting to break up. So to set everything before I go nuts, I'm going to be using my Kat Von D translucent powder. I love this stuff. It's so good. It gives your skin like a nice radiant looking finish but still keeps you matte at the same time, which is so good for oily skin people like me. So I'm going to set my entire face, even the contour with it. I'm going to set my contour with the powder a little bit later. So right now this isn't looking too bad. It's starting to break up a little bit on my cheek area. I will kind of zoom in so you guys can see what it's looking like. So I don't know if you guys can see right here in my cheek area, it's starting to break up. You can still see parts of my skin and my redness peeking through underneath the foundation. I don't know if that's just because even if I build it up, it's still not going to cover so much as I want it to, but you can still see it's a little bit patchy. So hopefully that will be resolved throughout the day, but we're going to see how long this wears. Alright, so now that my base is done, I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and I will check back in with you guys in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm back. I have my entire face on, finished my eyes, did everything else. I'm honestly not feeling this right now. I'm not the biggest fan of it as of yet. It was hard to blend everything on top of this, which is really frustrating because I had a hard time blending out my contour. My highlight and blush went on okay, but everything else just kind of seems super patchy right now. It's kind of breaking up on my nose area, and I haven't even had this on for about an hour, so that's kind of frustrating and very annoying. I'm hoping that it's going to wear a little bit better throughout the day. It didn't cover all of the acne areas that I wanted it to, so the coverage isn't as full as I would like it to, even though I did build it up. And I wouldn't say that the side that I had the primer on versus no primer kind of made a difference with the application. I feel like my pores look pretty much similar on both sides. The foundation on the unprimed side kind of seemed to blend out a little bit harder. I would definitely recommend using a flat top brush to blend this out. These are very thick and kind of creamy foundations, which are a little bit hard to blend out with a sponge, I felt like. So I feel like the brush is the best way to go if you're interested in trying out this foundation. So right now, I'm not really pleased. Hopefully this is gonna wear better throughout the day. It is about 12:40 right now, so I will check back with you guys in a couple hours and let you guys know my thoughts. Hey everyone, I am back. It is about 6:40, so it's been about 6 hours since I've had this foundation on. Y'all, I was not liking this so far, as you guys know, obviously before, but I think this looks so much better once you wear it a lot longer throughout the day. I am quite oily. I don't know if you guys can tell. I look like a grease ball, but I do think that this wears better the more you wear it throughout the day, if that makes sense. It really kind of like sunk into my skin nicely. I don't feel like my pores are really texturized or anything like that. I don't feel like it's cakey either. I was a little bit worried about that as well when I kept applying a lot of layers. I'm not really fond of the banana shade under my eyes. I think it's a little bit too heavy. of like a concealer slash highlighting color on me. I do love the contour shade. I think it's a perfect balance of like neutral to warm undertone for a nice contour on my skin tone. Again, the only issue I'm having right now is the oiliness, but I'm going to use a blotting paper to see if that's going to help out with anything. But I think it looks beautiful right now. It's not a super medium to full coverage foundation. It says it is, but it's definitely not. You can build it up if you're interested in doing that. I definitely think it's more of like a sheer to medium coverage at most. You can definitely build it up with concealer in spots. I mean, like, you can definitely see this guy right there. It's popping out. But yeah, I do like it. I think it's beautiful looking. It's very natural looking on the skin. I don't feel like it dries to a matte finish like it says either. So it's not going to be super, super good for oily skin if you want a matte finish or if that's what you're looking for. I do like the way it looks on my skin. Let's do a blotting paper and see how much oil comes off my face. So I have one of my little Sephora blotting sheets. I'm just going to see how much oil is going to come off because, whew, I think this is going to be a good test, y'all. That is a lot of oil. It's kind of gross, actually. The more I do this, the more I think it's so gross. But us oily girls gotta do what you gotta do, right? So that was all of the oil that came off my face. That's kind of a lot considering this is made for oily combination skin. I do feel like it looks better definitely after I blotted, but it's kind of wearing off. It kind of took off the foundation a little bit on my forehead. Again, I do think this looks beautiful. It's very natural looking. I definitely think I would wear this on like days that I don't want a super full coverage face. I do think I'm going to return the banana shade because it's not something that I'm loving right now. But the foundation and the contour shade, I think a lot of these shades are going to be beautiful for contouring if you do like to do a cream contour. I don't really do that on an everyday basis, so this was definitely something new for me. But I do like the way it looks. I definitely like how it's laying on my skin. And I do notice on my prime side that it is laying a little bit nicer than the unprime side, but the longevity of it looks the same. So this is my 6-hour check-in. I'll check back in with you guys in about 4 to 6 more hours and let you guys know my final thoughts. Hi guys, I am back for my final check-in. It is about midnight, so it's been on for a little bit less than 12 hours, 11 plus hours. I do think that this foundation is a good natural foundation. I don't think it's a good long wear foundation. It's pretty much all gone on my forehead. It is really broken up on my nose and on the sides of my cheeks. I don't notice any difference with the prime side versus the not prime side. They look pretty much the same with wear time and obviously how it looks after 11 plus hours of wear. So I think I'm going to be returning actually the banana shade. I actually don't really like this one. I think it's a little bit too heavy for under my eyes. It does lighten up my skin very nicely, but I think I have other products in my collection that I can definitely use for highlighting purposes and not have something so full coverage and so thick and heavy under my eyes. I do think I like the foundation. I think I am going to keep it for the price. It's only $25, especially using it for a everyday kind of basis natural look. If I'm only going out running errands and I want to throw something on, it's actually quite quick and easy to blend it out with that brush I was using before. So I think I am going to be keeping this one. I do like the coverage of it for a nice medium neutral coverage. It does not dry matte like I was mentioning earlier, so you will have to use a really good mattifying primer or a setting powder if you are very oily like me. I don't think this is very, very good for oily skin, but again, if you use something in conjunction with this foundation that is very good for mattifying, you will probably be able to get away with keeping your oils at bay at least for 4 to 6 hours. And I don't know how I like the contour shade. I'm gonna have to play around with this more. Again, I'm not really super into cream contouring, so it's not my favorite thing to do, but I do like the color of this and how it just gives a little bit more warmth and shadow to my face. So I'm gonna be keeping you guys updated on this, but I do like the foundation. I don't think it's the best I've ever tried. I am excited to try out the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, I think it's called, and kind of put it to the test in comparison with this one. So I'll keep you guys updated with that, but as of right now, I would give this about like a 6 or 7. Again, it's not my favorite, but it's not something that I would definitely not want to repurchase or, you know, keep in my collection. Yeah, I think I'm going to be keeping the foundation and the contour shade, but returning the highlighting shade. I hope you guys found this very, very helpful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!